Stacey's Extraordinary Words by Stacey Abrams, illustrated by Kit Thomas. Stacey loved words. She loved to read and write and say them. She adored fun words, long words, unusual words, and words with wonderful histories and weird combinations. Whenever Stacey learned a new word, it was like making a new friend. First, she would find the dictionary. Then, she would look up where the word had came from and learn its secrets. Did any of its letters hide or stay quiet, like P in tardigram, a bird that lives in the cold northern regions? Or were they strong like the I in bright? Next, she wrote the word in a special notebook of extraordinary words. She practiced how to arrange the letters just right, how to sound them out. That's because she loved spelling interesting words most of all. Her favorite words, she would try to remember their quirks. What made them special? When a super long word, like onomatopoeia, a funny word to describe the sounds of other words, she had to jump and sway. Words like duckling made her grin. Persnickety tickled her tongue. Sometimes, Stacey thought that words understood her better than people did. When she sat by herself during recess, they'd never tease her about being quiet, or being clumsy when she fell, or awkward when the joke in her head came out wrong. When she read books under the covers, words never told her to go to sleep. Words understood why she was grumpy or anxious. In fact, words helped her explain what she was feeling, if only to herself. One day, Stacey's teacher, Miss Blakesley, asked her to wait after class. She squirmed in her seat because she was too afraid, petrified. Another word to say really, really, really afraid. Usually, the teacher only kept a student after class because of a blunder mistake. Miss Blakesley called Stacey to her desk and returned her spelling test. A big red 100 sat at the top of the page. The teacher asked her, "Do you know what a spelling bee is?" "A really smart insect?" Stacey joked. The teacher smiled. A spelling bee is a contest where students complete as many words correctly as they can. I would like you to participate. Stacey couldn't believe it. Who else would there be? I am nominating you and Jake. The spelling bee is next week. And you can see her saying, Stacey. Stacey's excitement suddenly evaporated. Jake was not her friend. He was a bully who knew words too. Just yesterday, he had complained he had used a complicated word that made Suki cry. Last week, she heard him say something cruel to 𝐸𝐿𝐤 about his accent. Stacey thought it was stupendous that 𝐸𝐤 knew words in 2 different languages. Stacey knew as many words as Jake did. She wanted to say something when he said mean things to her friends. But she was intimidated, scared, because sometimes he said hurtful things to her too. She wished she had used her clever words to help Suki or 𝐸𝐤 or herself by speaking up. Perhaps at the spelling bee, she would be braver. At the spelling bee, she would not be silent. week long, Stacey studied her words, her spelling words, from school and the ones she kept in her notebook. Still, the spelling bee felt as far away as the longest word she had ever seen. 𝐶𝐸𝐲𝐿. 𝐶𝐸𝐲𝐿. A fancy way to describe words with lots of syllables. The days of the week were monotonous, torturous, and sluggish. Every hour felt longer and longer. So you see her over here talking about the day of the week, and you see her over here practicing her spelling words. Finally, the morning of the spelling bee arrived. Stacey walked into the county library with her mother, holding her hand tight. Mama gave her a big hug and whispered into her ear, "Just do your best. Your dad and I are very proud of you." Stacey followed her teacher to the room where the students waited until it was time to go. Then they went to a stage. The announcer explained the rules. Kids stepped up to the microphone one by one to get their word, and if they spelled it right, the announcer told them so. But if they made a mistake, a bell would ring. The student would have to leave the stage. No do-overs. So here's the back of the stage, and here is the front of the stage. I guess this is where they wait till they get called. Stacey's turn finally came. Her stomach ached with nervous energy, but she was ready. Say the word dither. Spell it out. D. Spell it out. Spell it. Sound it out. Spell it. D-I-T-H-E-R. That's correct. The announcer called on the next student and the next. Promptly, enormous, shutter, transportation, craggy, reception, village. Finally, only 3 contestants remained. Stacey and Jake, and a girl from another school. The girl went up to spell her word. Ding! She had spelled chocolate without the second O. Have you guys spelled chocolate without the second O? I know I have. We're down to our final 2 contestants, the announcer told the audience. Jake took a long time to spell the word accept. Stacey got squeezed, but she remembered the lost letters she adored, like Q and Z. Jake tackled clambering. Stacey conquered disengage. Then Jake defeated geometry. Stacey returned to the podium, ready to do the battle with the next word. She repeated it. She pronounced it. She spelt it. INSTANTANIOUS. Instantaneous. And you can see Jake, taking a long time to spell the word. And then you can see her and Jake conquering all these words. She waited for the announcer. The bell dinged. "I'm sorry, that's incorrect." The proper spelling is Stacey. Stacey couldn't hear the rest of what he said. Tears filled her eyes, but she stayed on stage like a good sport as Jake got his trophy. She received her second place ribbon. Everyone congratulated Jake, and so did she. "Good job." Jake laughed and rolled his eyes. "At least I know the difference between I and E." And you can see him laughing at her. Then you can see her worried because she didn't know if she was going to get the word right. Stacey felt embarrassed, but she refused to let Jake make her cry. Well, I misspelled my word, but I do know how to be courteous. You should try it. She turned away and went to find her mom. If today were like any other of the stories Stacey loved most, she would have won. And Jake would have learned that words weren't a gift. And that they shouldn't be used to hurt people. But things didn't always happen that way in real life. Sometimes change was harder, and it didn't happen right away. Stacey felt a hard hand brush her cheek. It opened her fist and smoothed out the ribbon. Mama, she put a butterscotch candy on the top. Stacey's favorite kind. You okay? I lost, but you came so far, nearly to the very end. Not far enough. I got the letter wrong, and I didn't win. I failed. You only fail if you stop, her mother reminded her. I know. There's a word for that. You know it too. Stacey thought about one of her favorite words, perseverance. VERANCE. Exactly. So let's go home and learn more words. There's always next year. Stacey imagined all the words she had yet to meet. New words and new ways to speak up and help others. She'd find them all. No, Mama. There's always tomorrow. And then I'm guessing that this little girl ended up to be Stacey Abrams because this is kind of like a time span. And yeah. And this is her running for governor. This is her running from governor. And this is her in her book. And I guess this is her when, I don't know, maybe in middle school. And here's an author's note, and I guess this is what she looked like in real life. And also we have a back where she shows what she looks like. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching me read this lovely book called Stacey's Extraordinary Words. If you like this book, please subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.